So we're going to start seated today. And so I invite you to sit up on a cushion or a blanket or even a block. And sit however is comfortable for you. We want the spine to be able to rise really tall out of the sit bones. And we will be using a strap a little bit later. So having a strap handy. You could also use a scarf or a towel or a belt. You don't have to purchase a yoga strap. Dropping the shoulders down the back. See if you can engage the belly just enough to feel support for your spine to rise a little taller as your legs relax down to the earth. Shoulders softening. Crown of the head reaching up high. And then begin to deepen your breath. And tuning into the breath as a full, complete cycle. Once you cycle around, inhale, exhale. Notice if there's any resistance or tension that's being held in the body. You can send the breath to cycle through those areas. And also if there's some holding in the thoughts, maybe there's rumination on something, a worry or something that just keeps kind of nagging at you, and see if you can breathe some cycles of breath to that to see if there's a little shift there. One more breath here. And then as you inhale, bring your hands to press palm to palm at your heart center. And as you exhale, gently open your eyes, taking in the colors and the light around you. Take an inhale here. Exhale, interlace the hands, press them away from you, rounding your spine. Inhale, arms up, heart lifts, gaze lifts. Exhale, wrist circles, float your arms out and down. And letting the arms hang by the sides, we're going to draw 3 big circles in each direction, rotating from the shoulders. With the arms, and then going back the other way, scooping back and up. Beautiful. And then bringing the hands back to the heart center. Take a breath here. Take another inhale. Exhale, interlace the hands, press them away from you, rounding your spine. Inhale, arms up, heart lifts, gaze lifts. Keep these hands engaged. Drop the shoulders down the back. Press the palms up to the sky, and we're going to draw little circles with the palms on the ceiling or the sky. Feel that rotation in the shoulders, and then going back the other way. Coming back to center, reaching up nice and tall. And exhale, wrist circles, flow the arms out and down. Interlacing the hands behind the back, roll the shoulders. Inhale, lift, arms, heart, and gaze. Stay here, exhale, and take 2 more breaths, dropping shoulders, lifting heart. And exhaling, releasing. Beautiful. Stretching the legs out in front, bouncing out the knees, rolling the feet around. Beautiful. And we're going to bring the soles of the feet together for bound angle pose. So letting the knees just soften out to the sides, and you'll probably feel a nice little stretch through those hips. So holding on wherever is comfortable to let the hands land. And we're going to begin to circle the ribs here. And I want you to go really slow so that you really feel the different ways in which the muscles move and stretch and connect here. And feel the inspiration, the awareness of change, even on subtle levels, being quite constant. You might feel this full moon energy inside you, this fullness, the paradox that we can hold kind of opposing things at once. Let's go back the other way with these really slow circles, feeling into what's happening in the hips, tracing this circle, cycle, moon shape inside you. We can hold excitement and fear, love, and betrayal, all of these awarenesses in the fullness, in the ebb and flow, in the complete wholeness of life experience. Coming back to center, take a deep inhale, fill your heart, and lead with your heart as you fold forward. And when you can't lead with your heart anymore, then drop your head. You can hold on to your feet and send them some love. They're keeping you grounded, walking you through your days. Take 2 breaths here. And inhale, coming back up to center, scooping those knees up, hugging them in, curling into a little ball. like the seeds buried in the earth, resting now during this cold time of the year. Just that pause, that knowing what is contained within will bring forth change. But right now, there's a dreaming, a pause. Beautiful. And then releasing here. And we're going to stretch the left leg out, cross the right leg on top of that. Foot to the floor outside the left leg, and hug the knee in towards the chest, lifting the spine up nice and tall, and see if you can have equal weight in both sit bones here. So you're welcome to stay here and breathe. If you'd like to go further, inhale, lift the arms up into the air, and then exhale, we're going to twist to the right, and left arm can hook on the outside of the right leg, and lifting the spine tall. See if you can let this twist come from the low belly all the way up through the body, and look out over the right shoulder. 2 breaths. And as you exhale, unwind. We can always be in the reminder that we won't stay anywhere forever. Take a little counter twist to the other side. So as we practice that on the yoga mat, let's switch legs. As we practice knowing that none of these poses are going to last forever, we can bring that off the mat and into our lives when we're in discomfort, physically, emotionally, mentally. So right leg stretched out, left leg crossing over, foot to the floor, holding on to that left leg and lifting the spine nice and tall. You might stay here and breathe. If you'd like to go further, inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, twisting to the left. Right arm to the outside of the left leg, and then see if this twist can come from the low belly all the way up through the body until the head looks out over the left shoulder. 2 breaths here. And with your last exhale, unwind, and we're going to counter twist to the other side. Lovely. And come back to center. Stretch the legs out, bouncing the knees. From here, we'll come to hands and knees. Feel free to put your blanket underneath your knees for a little extra padding here. So hands underneath the shoulders with the fingers spread really wide. Knees underneath the hips or a little bit wider. Take an inhale here. Exhale, round the spine, gazing towards the belly button. Inhale, tilt the pelvis, let the motion slide up the spine, belly drops, head lift. Exhale, rounding back. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, rounding. One more. Nice. And then coming back to a cow pose, curl your toes under, press back to a down dog. Bending one knee deeply and then the other, stretching through the backs of the legs. Shifting those hips. And inhale, pull forward to a plank pose. You can drop your knees if you'd like, and we're gonna hold here for 2 breaths. Puffing up that space in between the shoulders. And then dropping the knees down, press back to a child's pose. And scooping forward, coming back to tabletop and finding a nice neutral spine here. So stretching your right leg out to the side. So we're going to bring the foot to the floor like we're standing on it here. And left hip is going to stay over the left knee. And feel that inner thigh stretch here. So nice getting into those spaces that we might not access every day, and begin to shift forward and back. Slowly. Maybe making this movement a little bigger as you move. Maybe pressing back to sit on your left heel. Maybe pulling forward, walking the hands forward, dropping the hips. And then coming back to neutral. Here, keeping this leg out to the side. Now we're going to draw rainbows, another wonderful way to think about cycles. So we're going to lift this right leg up and over, excuse me, and touching it down on the other side. So inhale, lifting up, being careful of furniture or windows. Bringing it up and over. A little froggy in my throat. Inhale, coming back over. One more time, we're going to come up and drop it down. And then pressing into the left hand, lifting the right arm up into the air. That expansion. Deep breath. And exhale, coming back now to hands and knees. Curl the toes under here. Press back to a down dog. Really feel the stretch through the hips. Think about moving the sit bones away from each other. Inhale, pulling forward to a plank. Drop your knees or stay lifted. 2 breaths here. Feel your core working and pressing the shoulders away from the ears. And then dropping the knees, press back. Child's pose. Inhale, pulling forward. And we're going to stretch the left leg out to the side. So with the foot on the floor like you're standing on it, And then begin to rock a little forward and back, stretching into this inner thigh. Just going as far in each direction as feels good to you, and maybe going a little deeper as you soften. And maybe pressing all the way back to your heel and coming all the way forward, dropping the hips. Seeing what feels available and flow to you today. And then making your way back to center, keeping that leg extended. And we're going to draw some rainbows. So inhale, lifting that leg up and over, looking out to the right. Inhale, lifting up and over. Again, up and over. Nice stretch through the side body. Up and over. And this time we're going to stay here. Press down into the right hand, lift the left arm up. Expanding here, pressing the hip forward. One more inhale and exhale, coming down back to tabletop. And let's take a cat-cow rounding. Maybe it feels like there's a little more spaciousness. Curl the toes under, press back. Down dog. Walking out your dog. With your next inhale, lift your right leg to the sky. Exhale, bring it through to the top of the mat. High or low lunge, finding your balance. Inhale, lifting the arms up. Exhale, touch the mat. Inhale, step back to a down dog. Exhale here. Inhale, lift left leg to the sky. Exhale, bring it through top of the mat. High or low lunge. Inhale, lifting the arms up. Exhale, coming back down. Inhale, press back to a down dog. So as we're honoring the phases and stages and changes that flow through our lives, you can think of this with each of the shapes that our bodies are in, the thoughts flowing through our minds. So we're going to come into pigeon pose next, and if pigeon isn't available to you, you can do a figure 4 stretch on your back. So I'll show that in just a moment. If you want to come into pigeon, lift your right leg up into the air. Exhale, bring it through, and we're going to set the knee down behind the right wrist and slide that left leg back. And you might fold up your blanket or bring a cushion underneath that right hip and just support it there so the hips are level. We don't want to be falling over onto that hip. And We're going to come up onto the finger pads. Take a deep inhale here. And exhale, folding forward, keeping the spine really long. You can melt here, and we're gonna just breathe and rest for a while. If that's not available to you, you can come down onto your back, bring your right ankle across your left knee, and hold on behind the left thigh. Flexing that right foot to protect the knee. And get a similar stretch. So finding what works best for you. Here, we're getting deep into the hips, and we're going to stay here for several breaths. So see if you can soften the jaw. You might find that if you're in pigeon pose, that as you're resting, the spine elongates a little more, and you can kind of scoot your arms and your head out a little bit more. You can make a little pillow or little support for your head by stacking your fists, if you would like. You might be able to bring your forehead all the way to the floor. Wherever you arrive, see if you can pause there. What can you release and let go? One more breath here. And inhale, coming back up. And we're going to find this strap and loop it around the back foot. And then bring the straps over the right shoulder. So here, we're starting to move towards king pigeon pose, which is where we would hook the right elbow around that back knee. So if you feel balanced in your legs, you can hold on to the strap with both hands. Take a couple breaths here. And then releasing. Bring the strap forward, hands to the mat, curl the back toes under. And we're going to press back to a down dog and walking it out here. Wiggle those hips, nice integration. Inhale, lifting left leg to the sky. Exhale, bring it through. Pigeon pose on this side. Sliding that right leg back, maybe putting a support underneath the hip. Finding figure 4 pose if you're not doing this full pigeon. Coming up nice and tall on your finger pads. Take an inhale, lengthening the spine. And exhale, coming forward. Again, finding how it works for you to arrange your arms or hands or the support. And as you breathe and melt and soften, you might move, lengthening the spine a bit. Softening the jaw, sending these deep breaths down into where you feel sensation in the hip, maybe in the thigh. Where can we release and relax and trust the cycles? Like the moon. It was just full. It's no longer quite full. It's now waning, but we trust that next month it'll be full again. Nature can really help us lean into trust, knowing so reliable these cycles. One more breath here. And then coming back up, and we're going to find the strap and loop it around the back foot and bring the strap to the opposite shoulder. You can slide it in, get a nice stretch here. And feel expansion. And if you feel balanced, you can bring both hands to the strap. One more breath. Releasing. Curling those back toes under and making your way up to a down dog. Yay. And then little baby step by little baby step, walk your feet up to your hands here, hanging in a forward fold. And then bringing the feet wider than the hips, toes pointed out slightly. And we're going to sink down into a squat. So you might keep your hands on the floor and just bend the knees slightly. You might be able to sink all the way down. And maybe there's a little popping in the knees. If you are able to come all the way down and can bring your hands together, lengthen the spine, sink those hips. And then releasing down onto your back and finding your strap. And we're going to loop the strap around the ball of the right foot, extending it up to the sky. If it's comfortable to extend the left leg long, you can. If it feels better to keep it bent, choose that option. So we're going to hold on to the strap with the right hand. Invite these toes towards the forehead, lengthening through that right leg. Take an inhale here. And as you exhale, bring the leg out to the side, to the right. Keep that left hip grounded down. Inhale back up. Switch the straps over into the left hand. Right arm reaches out as you guide the leg over to the left. Inhale back to center. Switch straps to the right hand. Open up to the right. Inhale back up. Switch straps to left hand and exhale. Coming into this twist. And we'll stay here in this twist for 2 letting go breaths. Deep inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. With your next inhale, unwind, come back to center, release the strap. We're gonna switch legs, looping the strap around the left leg, left foot, reaching it up, choosing if right leg stays bent or straight. Inviting the left toes towards the forehead. Holding on with the left hand to the straps. Take an inhale. Exhale, open to the side. Inhale back to center. Switch straps into the right hand. And exhale, guide the leg over to the right. Stretching left arm out. Inhale back to center. Exhale, leg opens to the left. Inhale back to center. Exhale, leg goes to the right. And we're going to stay here for 2 letting go breaths. Nice, and releasing here, coming back to center, setting the strap to the side, hug the knees into the chest, rock a little side to side, let the knees come away from each other, reach through the inside of the knees, grabbing onto the outside of the feet or the ankles for happy baby pose. Yay, another great hip awareness pose. Stretch. If there's any final poses you would like to find before coming to Shavasana, feel free. Otherwise, stretching out long on your back, setting yourself up well for Shavasana. Perhaps a blanket under your head or your knees are covering you up. And as you're sinking into this letting go pose, see if you can really feel the release, maybe even relief in your hips here. This undoing of the tension, the holding, the contraction. Letting go here. Everything softening and releasing. press back to the surface of your body. Begin to deepen your breath. Wiggle your fingers and toes. And as you're ready, bend one knee and then the other, placing your feet on the floor. And come to rest over on your right side. Taking a breath here and keeping your eyes closed and your attention internal. Gently press your way up to find a seat. Sitting with your eyes closed. Allow these words to wash over you. I don't know who wrote this. I looked it up and there were some different ideas of who wrote this. So thank you to whoever wrote this poem. And just like the moon, you shall go through phases of light and dark, and of everything in between. And though you may not always appear with the same brightness, you are always whole. Bringing your hands together in front of your heart, pressing your thumbs in to feel your heartbeat, your personal pulse. And take a deep breath of gratitude, sending that gratitude from your heart out to all the cells in your being. I thank you for joining me for practice today. The light within me honors the light within you. Namaste.